I've been talking with Travis back and forth every month looking for you. He tells me you're a very busy man, which is good. That's what's required in business.
Sure.
Good to have you here, my brother. I'm so inspired by your journey. So a lot of people, when they hear stories like yours, ne? They focus more on the glory rather than the story.
Sure.
They'll hear, I have multiple store locations, or I've built a brand, it's making X amount of money. We all want the glory part of it. But only you went through the story part of it, the pain part of it. And I'm more interested in the story part more than the glory, because I think that's what actually builds other people when they listen to it. But where does your story start? In your opinion, where do you think it actually started for Galax Boy?
I think maybe, the brand I started in, I was 18 years old in matric.
Yeah.
Yabo. But if we go back, I think maybe I just developed a love for fashion through my mom. So my mom used to dress me up, and I never used to know why I have to dress up and look good, etc. Then when I got older, I realized, okay, this is how the world works. People actually use clothes to express themselves and to display themselves in public. So from there, I fell in love with fashion. Did my research, what is fashion, where it comes from, etc. Then I think, 2008, I was in matric, 18 years old. I had a group of friends of mine. So we called ourselves like the Cheese Boy at school.
Cheese Boy.
Yeah.
Oh, but you're a cheese boy already, car no already copy.
Yeah. So I decided to print a T-shirt for the crew. So we used to wear it on casual day, etc. So once we print those T-shirts, we wore them. Then the rest of the school wanted them, so I decided to start selling them. I think I sold a T-shirt for like $250 or something.
Were you guys popular?
Yeah, a bit popular at school.
Right.
So to make the T-shirt was about $60. So I used to save up my lunch money for 3 days so I can buy one T-shirt, sell it, go back, make more, etc. But obviously, at that time, I didn't have any business, knowledge. So all that money we made, we just spent it on whatever. Understand? So fast forward, I'm done with matric. I go to university. I went to tax. Actually, I wanted to study sound engineering because I was also a DJ during my matric year in grade 11, grade 12, grade 11. I was a DJ. So I told my dad.
What's one nyan? What did they?
Yeah, so I told my dad I want to be a music producer. And he said, I know you're crazy. Just do something with accounting or whatever. So I decided to do internal audit at tax. So I was good at accounting and math. So it was something I could do. Not necessarily what I wanted to do, but it was something I could do. So I went to University of Pretoria. I started studying internal audit. I did it for, I don't know, 2 years, 3 years. But anyway, I'm actually skipping parts of the story. It's been a long journey. So during my matric year, my dad moved me to Centurion to stay with him. Just to be
you were not staying with both your mom and dad?
Yeah. I think my parents divorced when I was in primary school or something.
Sure.
So my dad moved to Centurion. So I was in Mamelodi for the most part of my high school career. Then grade 12, he moved me to Centurion just to focus and away from, my friends, etc. So I went to, Centurion. I stayed with him. So obviously, person like me, I'm making friends all over the place. So I met this other guy called Kotso in Centurion. He was like a rapper. He was friends with Anati. You know Anati?
Anati the rapper?
Yeah, Anati the rapper producer.
Sure.
So he introduced me to Anati. Anati was like 16 at that time. Me, I was 18. Introduced me to Anati. We became really close friends. Basically, Anati showed me the other side of the world. So out of South Africa, he showed me the internet, introduced me to brands like Louis Vuitton, your babes, go to like the internet.
Because he was wearing them at the time?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he introduced me to all these things, like the internet as we know it. So from there,
What do you mean the internet as you know it?
like, you know, I'm from Mamelodi, so I don't have access to internet on a daily. So you basically didn't know what was happening outside of South Africa.
So you were a bit close-minded?
Yeah.
Like Kasi mindset?
Yeah, basically.
All you know is Kasi at the time?
Yeah, but only I didn't know people could make careers of clothing. I didn't know that black people were allowed to make their own clothing brands. So stuff like that. So once he introduced me to the internet, I learned a lot of things. I learned about brands I didn't know, like Bape, your Louis Vuittons, etc. Then he later introduced me to Nkosana from Mama Keep Keep.
I remember Mama Keep Keep, yeah.
Yeah, so Nkosana, obviously, when I was doing the Cheese Boy t-shirt, I wasn't starting a brand. It was just a t-shirt for...
We're just selling like clothes.
Yeah, on so. Sure. So when I met Nkosana from Mama Keep Keep through Anati, I was like, yeah, man, can't there are black people who own clothing brands?
How old was Nkosana then?
I'm not sure.
You guys were 18, 16?
Nkosana was a bit older.
Like older.
Yeah, maybe he was in his late 20s or something.
Okay.
So I'm like, yeah, man, there are black people who own their own brands. I'm like, even me, I can make my own.
Sure.
So from there, I did more research into clothing brands, registering trademarks, etc. Then I started designing while I was in varsity, obviously, doing the accounting, etc. I was researching. I was always at Anati's house. My mom used to complain, why are you always at
Insecure?
This guy's house singing? What is Prince saying? Like, no, we're just chilling. Go every weekend when it's Friday. Yeah, I went to Anati's.
What were you guys doing there?
No, obviously Anati was a producer back then.
Yes.
Producing for El Tido, all these big names. I was just sitting in the studio, just watching everything. Just hanging out, obviously. Also, using his laptop to search the internet. I don't have no laptops, no computers of my own. No?
Sure.
So, yeah.
Access.
Yeah, access. So he was giving me access to everything. I was learning a lot from him, even if he was younger than me. So, yeah, that went on a few years later. I think 2012. I decided to drop out of school.
You doing what year now? Second year?
I did internal audit for 2 years. I dropped it. I started retail management. I did it for 2 years. Then 2012 came. I'm like, you know what? This environment is not for me. It's depressing me a bit.
It wasn't depressing?
Yeah, it was depressing because, like, you're doing something you don't want to do and you are in a place, like, with no motivation, etc.
Sure.
So I decided, no. I told my parents,